We're here with Jymmy Kay Davis, the president of the WPRA, who is also sitting first and second today as the go-around's going on with her horses Reckless and Fuzzy.
Yes.
Now, which one's first and which one's second?
Well, ironically, Fuzzy's first today, and she was my parents' Derby horse last year, and so I won it here on Reckless last year and was winning today, and then she came in behind him and outran him, so I was
really
tickled.
Excited.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet your parents are even more excited.
Oh yeah, they are.
They're proud. Well, Jymmy Kay, we're here to talk about something that The Secret has been a huge hit in the nation and possibly in the world, but we're here to talk about a little more than The Secret, just the basics of life. So tell us what your idea is about keeping mentally healthy and stable and efficient in life.
Well, I don't think it's a secret. I think that prophets and teachers and trainers and authors and Jesus himself have tried to teach us for centuries that you get what you believe. And that's not a line from Peter Pan. That's the truth. I rodeoed all my life, had a certain amount of success in youth and high school rodeos, and did not realize until I joined the WPRA and really began running competitively at that level that there is another level of competition. And the difference in this level and this level is simply mental discipline and mental toughness. Vince Lombardi, one of the most famous football coaches ever, had a quote that said, winning is not a sometime thing, it's an all-time thing. Good things don't happen sometimes. Winning is a habit, and unfortunately so is losing. And that's very true. I found that to be a fact.
Well, I agree that losing is definitely a rut that you get yourself in, and when you get that negative attitude and you prepare yourself for that fall, that's what you're going to always get. How would you recommend, even for youth or adults that are trying to move to that next level, how do they step up their mental game? How do they keep that focus and keep that energy?
You know, Kay, I get calls a lot from permit holders that ask me, what would you advise a rookie or a permit holder or even a card holder who's never gone much before? What would you advise them to become a winner, to get that winning attitude? And I always say, get in the truck with a winner. Kay Blanford and I have hauled together and become best friends for years. And when I first met her, I thought she was such a snot. And I have found that that next level of competition has nothing to do with being cocky or overconfident. It's about faith, because when you watch people like Kay or Tammy Key or Marlene McRae or Liz Pinkston, any of them, walk down the alley, they don't think they're winners. They know they're winners. And what I found about winning is that winning's not about trophies and buckles and checks. It's about doing the best you can at that time with what God has given you in those circumstances, whether you're on a colt or you're a good horse, top of the ground, bottom of the ground, everybody's hit barrels or someone just set the arena record. Winning is about doing the best you can at that given time. When I ran today, I won today. Now, I may not even get a check, but that's okay because I did the best I could. And people need to realize that all aspects of the race are equally important. But your race really begins before you get in the alley sometimes, and sometimes before you even put your foot in the stirrup. It's when you make the mental decision of how you're going to prepare for your game and how you're going to feel about it.
Well, I think one of the big stumbles that a lot of people have when we're trying to step up our game or move to the next level, like you said, it's not that the ones that are there and doing it successfully are cocky, but sometimes their personalities are very much like ours. They're shy or they're focused,
exactly.
Or we approach them at the wrong time. So part of that may be just taking the opportunities at the right times to approach those
Absolutely.
subjects.
And you just hit on a key word, focus. I go back to Kay, but I have seen her at the tour finale one year, I guess it was in Reno or Vegas, I can't remember, but she literally had part of her clothes ripped off of her and did not realize until she pulled up in the alley and had to tuck herself back in so she could go get her crystal cut. Focus is such a big deal, and when you are focused and you're warming up your horses, sometimes you don't seem very approachable.
Right.
But I can guarantee you that another thing I have found about the women at this level is they're not the best until they have outrun you when you're at your best. And that's why I have seen people share horses, jump off and share tack, share tips. One of the things that is I think should be a great sign for all people is that you have to continue learning. And we've always had top hen clinics in Texas. And what you might see is when you have Christy Peterson and when your Deb Mohan did it and Lisa Ogden, those ladies not only stayed and did their clinics, but they stayed and listened to other people and got the tips and said, well, that really works for me, or that just doesn't do it for me. But there's more than one way to win a race. And you have to just learn from each other and take what works for you and your horse and never quit your progression and your growth.
I think that's really a number one on anybody's successful game is taking what works for you and your horse, or just you personally, because
Absolutely.
You can take from many different buckets, but it doesn't mean everything's applicable to whatever horse you're riding or whatever event you're doing.
I have to ride both of my horses different.
Yes.
What works for me, well, it probably doesn't work for either one of them. The bridle almost came off reckless. I think he could have done that without me. But I have to ride him one way, and I have to ride Fuzzy another. And it's just about focus. And there's a plaque that's been on my wall forever in my house. It says, trust in God, believe in yourself, and dare to dream. And those are such simple words, but there is such power in them. That's what you have to do, is take what God has given you at that particular moment and run your race, jump by jump.
Well, Jymmy Kay, it's always a pleasure to talk with
Thank you.
And you know, the WPRA has made some huge strides this year, obviously. We're excited to see the growth. Tell us a little about where you're headed and what's out there for the ones that are ready to step up their game.
We are trying really hard to encompass every woman, every young lady on a horse, and umbrella them under the Women's Professional Rodeo Association now. We're going to have our Women's National Finals in Tulsa this year in November. We've got a youth program for the girls that are 17 and under. We have the Fraternity, the Pro Sire Elite Division. We're really excited about some programs we have. And speaking of that, when I was talking about having faith and believing in yourself, on the rare occasion that God whispers to your heart that you are supposed to walk a walk in victory, and the rest of the world tells you there's just no way you can do it, just hold your faith and hang on for the ride, because there is nothing better.
Well, Jymmy Kay, that's definitely what's taken you to success and what's helped you take others to success, not just others, but an entire association of women that have true faith in you and rodeo and women in rodeo. So
thank you.
We thank you for your secret you're sharing with us today. Remember to stay focused, to be positive, and to get your mindset for everything that you're preparing yourself to do. My mom always said that there is no luck. It's when preparation meets opportunity, and I believe that too. So thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you, ma'am.